Welcome to today's stewardship conversation with Andrea Stoutamire Hutchinson. She's a longtime member of College Lutheran Church. She grew up in our church, has a lot of good memories, good experiences with us. Over the years, she's done things like volunteered with our nursery care, looking after our littlest ones. Andrea, you've taught Sunday school, and you just have a lot of good stories about what it was like growing up at College Lutheran Church. 2020 has been a very interesting year for you, so I'm looking forward to getting into that conversation with you today as well. But why don't you start just by telling us about some of your experiences growing up at College Lutheran Church? And
I feel like we were always at church. Beautiful. Even in the snow, Mom and Dad, we grew up on Pennsylvania Avenue, would put us in a sled and bring us all to church. And we could walk to church. But from the time I remember being in the nursery. I mean, that many years, and the nursery was full. It was so beautiful. And then I just remember youth group, Bible school, all the wonderful evening services. I think we were constantly in church. But it was beautiful. We all sat on the same pew. There were, 6 of us, so 7. And just wonderful memories. And being a part of the Stoutamire family has always been an honor. So to have the church Stoutamire genes is wonderful.
Yeah, our chapel is named after your father.
Yes, that was such an honor.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned nursery care earlier as one of those things, one of those ways you participated in the life of our parish before we had to stop doing so much of what we love to do. Are there other things church-wise or just in your family life that you've had to step away from in the course of your life?
Right. Just, basically, let's see, God blessed us and moved us to Cape Charles, which you have, connections in Cape Charles. So that's been a wonderful thing. And it's the most beautiful place I've ever seen. And we have a beautiful home. And so we brought my son here, Townsend, because it's a perfect little town for him. And we were here a week, and COVID hit, and the town shut down. We weren't hardly even aware of COVID at that time. So we've had to step back. We've had to step back from meeting our neighbors, which are so important. We've had to step back from volunteering. We've always volunteered at the Ram House in Roanoke. So, finding out that some connections of how we can do that here. That's very exciting. We've learned to meet our neighbors from across the street. But, stepping back in our beautiful home here, we really wanted family to come and stay and be here and come from 2 big families. So we weren't really able to, we've had my mother, my brother, my sister for a moment. But as to the way that I would have loved for them to come and stay and just experience, the beauty here, the town, being able to go to town, to restaurants, but, that's been hard. Stepping back too, also, my sister, Eva fell, and she's living with my mother right now, and we were so close, so I desperately had a lot of stress, not knowing it wasn't really safe for me to go home and help. And COVID has doubled here. So we're feeling the stress again. But
yeah, you mentioned, wanting to help your sister. I think that's been one of the more challenging things this year is those ways we really want to share our gifts. We can't always do that because it's not safe. And that's not been easy, I think, for anybody. Are there ways that you have been able to, some ways you wouldn't have anticipated that you are building some of those connections? I'm glad you're going to get involved with the food pantry in Cape Charles. That's good.
Thank you for that connection.
Of course, yeah.
Your mother.
But the director of that.
Yeah, thank you. Let's see. Since we do like to help the hungry, at the grocery store, we always buy extra food. We buy the boxes, the pre-made boxes that they're handing out now. we make a point to do that. We watch out for the elderly here. From across the street, it's a very quiet community, so we do that. We also just concentrate on, anytime we see someone that needs help, we look for that.
Yep. Sorry.
But also, we've enjoyed so much, I would just say, stepping up, watching the streaming every Sunday, being able to worship with Mom. That's just been a great gift and a great service to me.
That's part of why I wanted to chat with you. You're not alone. There are several members of our community who have moved away and aren't, even if we were having worship in person, they're not able to join us here physically. But one of the things we never would have anticipated is you can be more connected to our church now than ever would have been possible before. So yeah, tell us about what that's been like for you guys.
It's been wonderful. And I've been a stay-home mom for 28 years. So caring for someone and not really being able to go worship, this has been an amazing situation. And you wouldn't think I'd have to move all the way to Cape Charles and have COVID to join, to be more involved with church.
Yeah.
So
that's just one of the things I'm giving thanks for right now. And it's a way, our previous conversations with some other members of our church have been about how they and their families have stepped back or stepped up, but the whole congregation is also stepping up in some new ways, and entering into this world of live streaming and online ministry is one of those ways. And I'm just so glad it's brought in some other folks who otherwise wouldn't have been here. Yeah.
That's true. And hearing Maria and Josh every Sunday morning, right. I can listen to them all day. So thank you for your service, Maria and Josh.
We really appreciate them. And
beautiful voices.
Yeah, and Susan Short does a great job with bringing in all sorts of musicians. Josh and Maria have really helped us out. They've really stepped up. Yeah. So
we just take our computer upstairs on the beautiful top deck here, and we go to church outside. It's so beautiful.
That's true.
Yeah, I thank everyone for streaming.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It brings a smile to my face every Sunday in the chat room when you say hi to your mom and you say hi to your family back here.
Yes.
Even though you've moved across the state. Yeah. And I like knowing that you're around the corner from my parents. That's kind of nice.
Thank you for the connection of your parents. Yeah. I'm friends with your mother on Facebook, and she has the connections to the food pantries here. So I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys can help out in that way.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you for taking time to share some of your story. I do want to close with, again, our verse from Psalm 37, verse 23. Our steps are made firm by the Lord when he delights in our way. Though we stumble, we shall not fall headlong, for the Lord holds us by the hand. I think the way that you and your household have been able to be more involved in our church during the pandemic, more involved in worship. I know you've been involved in the life of the church for a long time. Mm-hmm. That's just one of the wonderful mysteries of this time that we're all going through. So thank you for that connection and being willing to share that story of how your connection has been strengthened.
It has been strengthened.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you for that. And thank you for your support of our congregation. Thanks to all of you out there for supporting the ministries that let us reach across the state to members of our church who otherwise wouldn't be worshiping with us.
Thank you, Pastor David.